Have you ever felt completely stuck in a relationship you knew was bad for you? Maybe you've watched a friend stay with someone who clearly hurts them, and you just couldn't understand why. You might have thought, why don't they just leave? Today, we're going to talk about the powerful invisible force that makes leaving feel impossible. It's called trauma bonding, and it's not a matter of weakness, it's a matter of brain chemistry. So what exactly is a trauma bond? Imagine an emotional glue that's paradoxically stronger than healthy attachment. It's an intense connection you form with someone who hurts you, precisely because they mix that hurt with moments of intense affection. It's a bond forged in fire, built on extreme emotional highs and lows. It feels like the most profound connection you've ever had, but it's actually a survival mechanism gone wrong. This isn't just a toxic relationship. It's a psychological cage built by a very specific pattern, the cycle of abuse. You've probably heard of this cycle, but let's break down how it creates the bond. It starts with the tension building phase. You're walking on eggshells, sensing that something is off. The air is thick with unspoken anger or criticism. You try to be perfect, to do everything right to prevent the inevitable. Then comes the explosion, the abusive incident. This could be yelling, insults, emotional manipulation, or even physical harm. It's the peak of the pain. But immediately after the storm comes the most seductive and dangerous part, the honeymoon phase. This is where the abuser becomes the person you fell in love with again. They apologize profusely, shower you with gifts, affection, and promises that it will never happen again. They might say, "You're the only one who understands me," or "I can't live without you." This is the moment of relief, the reward. Following this is a period of calm, where things feel normal, even wonderful. You start to believe their promises. You think, see, this is the real them. The other stuff was just a mistake. But then, slowly, the tension starts building all over again, and the cycle repeats. The cruel genius of this cycle is its predictability. Your brain becomes addicted not to the abuse, but to the intense relief and affection that you know will follow. You start living for the honeymoon phase. Now let's get into the science of this trap, because what's happening in your brain is fascinating and terrifying. It's a chemical cocktail designed for addiction. During the tension and abuse phases, your body is flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone. You're in a constant state of fight or flight. Your nervous system is on high alert, which is exhausting and damaging over time. But then, during the honeymoon phase, you get a huge rush of dopamine. This is the pleasure and reward chemical. It's the same chemical released when you win at a slot machine or take a drug. Your brain craves that dopamine hit after being starved of it and submerged in cortisol. On top of that, you have oxytocin, the bonding or cuddle hormone. This is released during moments of affection, apologies, and intimacy in the honeymoon phase. It creates feelings of trust and attachment. So you have a brain soaked in stress, then flooded with a reward chemical, and then glued together with a bonding chemical. Cortisol, dopamine, and oxytocin. This combination creates an addictive loop that is biochemically identical to substance addiction. Your brain literally becomes dependent on this emotional roller coaster. Leaving the relationship isn't just emotionally hard. It triggers a genuine chemical withdrawal. This brings us to one of the most powerful psychological principles at play, intermittent reinforcement. Think about a slot machine. You pull the lever, you lose. You pull it again, you lose. You lose, you lose, and then suddenly, you win. That unpredictable reward is far more addictive than a reward you get every single time. If you got a reward consistently, you'd expect it, and it would lose its power. But the uncertainty of when the next win is coming keeps you hooked, chasing that high. In a trauma-bonded relationship, the affection and kindness are the intermittent reward. The abuser doesn't give you love consistently. They give it to you unpredictably, usually after a period of neglect or cruelty. This makes the moments of affection feel incredibly valuable and intense. You find yourself tolerating long stretches of pain for a small, uncertain dose of pleasure. Your brain isn't wired to seek stable, consistent love in this state. It's wired to chase the jackpot of a good day. This is why a trauma bond can feel so much more intense and passionate than a healthy, secure relationship. You're confusing the anxiety of the chase with the feeling of love. So when someone asks, "Why can't you just leave?" it's because it's not a simple choice. It's a biological and psychological battle. Leaving means facing a real, physical withdrawal. You'll experience intense anxiety, deep depression, and an overwhelming craving for the person. Your body might ache. You might not be able to sleep or eat. Your nervous system has been rewired to believe that this person, the source of your pain, is also your only source of safety and relief. The thought of being without them can trigger a full-blown panic attack because your brain screams that you're losing your only fix. It has nothing to do with being weak or stupid. It's about a nervous system that has been hijacked. How can you tell if you're in a trauma bond? There are some clear signs. You find yourself constantly defending or making excuses for the other person's bad behavior to your friends, your family, or even to yourself. You hide the reality of your relationship from others. You might feel a deep sense of loyalty to the person who is hurting you, even protecting them from consequences. When you're away from them, you feel empty, lost and desperate to go back. Even if you were miserable when you were with them, you might start to believe their narrative, that you're the problem, that you're too sensitive, or that no one else could ever love you. A key sign is that the thought of actually leaving doesn't bring relief, it brings terror. It's also important to understand that this confusion is often intentional, whether consciously or subconsciously, on the part of the abuser. The constant switching between punishment and reward is a tactic of control. It systematically destroys your sense of reality and self-worth. When your perception of reality is constantly challenged, when you hear indeed retold that never happened, or you're imagining things, you start to distrust your own mind. You become dependent on the abuser to tell you what is real, what you should feel and who you are. Their validation becomes the only validation that matters, creating a terrifying dependency. If this sounds like your life, I want you to hear me clearly. You can break free, but you have to treat it like what it is, an addiction. The first and most crucial step in recovery is detox, which means going no contact. This is the hardest part. It means blocking their number, their social media, and cutting off all avenues of communication. Every time you engage, you reset the withdrawal process and give the addiction another hit. It will be incredibly painful at first, but it is the only way to let your brain's chemistry begin to reset. During this time, you cannot do it alone. You need external support. This means leaning on trusted friends, family, a therapist who specializes in trauma or support groups. You need people who can validate your reality and remind you of your worth when your brain is screaming for you to go back. Rebuilding your identity is also key. A trauma bond makes your entire world revolve around the other person. You need to rediscover who you are without them. What hobbies did you love? Who are your friends? What makes you feel alive? It's a process of reclaiming yourself piece by piece. It takes time for your neurochemicals to balance out and for your nervous system to learn that calm doesn't mean boring. It means safe. In a previous video, we talked about defense mechanisms, and they are critical here. The ego uses denial and rationalization to protect you from the overwhelming pain of the truth. Thoughts like, "It's not that bad," or, "But when they're good, they're so good," are your mind's way of avoiding the reality that the person you love is the source of your suffering. Recognizing these defense mechanisms for what they are is a huge step toward breaking the bond. I want to leave you with this thought. Trauma bonding convinces you that intensity is love. It makes you believe that the highest highs are worth the lowest lows. But real, healthy love doesn't require you to survive it. It doesn't put you on a roller coaster of pain and relief. Real love is a safe harbor. It's about feeling secure, respected, and cherished consistently. Real love doesn't require you to survive someone. It empowers you to grow with someone. If anything we've talked about today resonates with you, please know you are not alone, and there is help available. Your journey to healing can start right now. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on understanding ourselves and our relationships. Take care.